Welcome to Sundays with Amber live stream edition. So glad you're here today. Today's practice is breathing for letting go. So we will do a couple techniques, including a very long exhale technique called Voloma 2. So we'll actually break up our exhale into 3 parts. If you can, what we'll work with is really the rib cage. So bringing to your mind right now, and you can even touch it, your low rib cage. So this whole area around like the whole cylinder of your torso, of the low rib cage, all the way up to the collarbones and the upper back area and everything in between. So we're working a lot with that area of the body. If you think of that area of your body like a 3-layer cake, this is what my teacher Gabriel, how he describes it. It's a 3-layer cake. So you imagine this. There's the first layer between the low rib cage and just under maybe the chest, and then the second layer is that place up to the higher chest, and then the third layer is the higher chest area to the collarbone. So each layer of the cake is the same size, and this is all the way around. So it's like a round cake, so it's even in the back of the body. As we exhale, we'll break up the exhale, so one exhale, into 3 parts. I'll say inhale deeply to the very top. So you're breathing all the way to the collarbones. And then as you exhale the first layer of the cake, so 1/3 of the breath, and pause. Exhale the second layer of the cake, 2/3 of the breath, pause. Exhale everything out to the very bottom, that last layer, which is at the low rib cage, pause. We'll take a restorative breath into the belly, so you'll expand the belly out, and exhaling the belly in, and we'll do another round. Inhaling, exhale first layer, 1/3 of the breath only, pause. That's, you're holding the breath out. Second layer, pause. Third layer, pause. Restorative belly breath. We'll do 3 rounds like that, and then we'll do something else. You have 2 choices. So first choice, you lay on your back with a bolster. So if you have a bolster, or if you have like a long rectangular pillow, that could work as well. So you'll put the bolster on your mat, and to create kind of a pillow, you can grab a blanket. You want the head a little bit higher than the heart. Put a blanket at the back of the bolster so that when you lie down, your butt is on the floor, your head is lifted a little bit higher than your heart. And the forehead potentially is just a little bit higher than the chin. Okay, extending the arms out, but making sure, and you may have to wiggle around to do this, to get the shoulder blades more under the body so the collarbone area is nice and open. And in this position, it's so nice because the chest is already, and the rib cage is pretty open. So that really aids this type of breathing. The legs can stretch out long here. So you're just like this. So this is first option if sitting upright seems like something you just don't want to do today or uncomfortable, or you're new to breathing, to pranayama. This is great. Right. Second option will be to sit up on some height. Right. So you can grab your bolster, you can grab a block, and I'll do the block. So you'll put a block with a blanket over it, so you have a little bit more height. And you might need 2 blocks. Coming up, sitting on that prop with the legs out in front of you in what's called Sukhasana, or easy pose. So the shins are more parallel to the top of the mat. Sit on enough height that your knees could be lower than the hips, or the height of the hips are a little bit lower. I potentially could sit up. I could benefit from sitting up a little bit higher, but this is okay. So if you're coming up to seated, slide your hands back to your hip creases, help you kind of root the thigh bone down, drawing the elbows back, okay, and then dropping the chin just a little bit. So you really want the chest open, just like if you were on the bolster helps to do that. So if you come to seated, elbows back to really get the chest nice and open, and to see it from the side, it looks like this, right? So you're sitting up tall and then dropping the chin, just like that. Keeping that nice and open position the whole time, which is hard, but it really helps with posture. As you come up to a seat or you lie on your bolster, lowering the chin, steadying your gaze. Ujjayi breath is a soft aspirant sound in the back of your throat. It's a subtle constriction of the glottis. It creates an aspirant H quality to the breath. Massages the throat in a sense. Inhaling very slowly wherever you are. Breathe all the way up to the collarbones, like you could spread the breath out. And as you exhale without collapsing the chest, could you exhale from the collarbones all the way down continuously to the rib cage? So you're trying to breathe just up with that awareness in the chest area. Inhale, fill up the chest cavity like you fill up a glass of water. To the collarbones, to the upper back. And then as you exhale from the collarbones, the upper back down to the low ribs in the front and the back of the body without collapsing the chest. And then one more like that. Ujjayi breath. Inhale. Spread out the breath. Elongate the breath. And exhale. Now practicing the restorative breathing, place your hands on your belly, wherever you are. And on the inhale, expand the belly out. And as you exhale, draw the belly in. Not forcibly doing this. Just inhale, expand the belly out. So you're isolating the breath there. And as you exhale, belly in. So that's our restorative breath. Slide your hands back to your hip creases or extending them out if you're on the bolster, on the floor. Drop the chin. Ujjayi breath. That soft aspirant sound. Breathing in the rib cage in the chest cavity area. Starting Viloma 2, a 3-part exhale. So we're on the same breath. Inhale slowly. To the collarbones, to the upper back. Exhale all the way down like the glass of water is emptying to the low rib cage. And inhale. To the very top, hold the breath in. Exhale 1/3, the first layer of the cake. Pause, relax. Exhale 2/3, the second layer of the cake. Pause, relax. Exhale the third layer of the cake, the lower rib cage. Pause. Restorative belly breath. Inhale the belly. Exhale the belly. Inhale, fill up the chest cavity to the collarbones. Exhale 1/3, the first layer. Pause, relax. Exhale, second layer. Pause, relax. Exhale, the third layer to the low rib cage without collapsing the chest. Pause, relax. Restorative belly breath. Inhale. Exhale. The chin lowers, the chest lifts. Inhale. Fill yourself up. Pause at the top. Exhale 1/3. Ujjayi breath. Pause. Exhale 2/3. Ujjayi breath. Pause. Exhale all the breath to the low rib cage. Ujjayi breath. Pause. Restorative belly breath. You can do that one more time on your own. Working on Ujjayi breath. So when you're ready, inhale to the very top. Fill yourself up. Holding the breath. And then moving at your own pace where you're equaling those 3 layers of breath. That whole exhale. And when you're finished, a restorative belly breath. Still sitting up tall, dropping the chin, lifting the heart, elbows back if you're sitting upright, chest lifted, regardless if you're lying on the bolster or you're seated. And sitting in meditation, looking toward your heart, in the direction of your heart, guiding your internal gaze in that direction. Feel your heart beat. Visualize the breath moving around your heart now. And sitting intentionally with the question, the consideration, what is it that you would like to release right now in your life that's not serving you anymore? Is it a thought pattern? Is it a physical pattern or habit? Is it a relationship? Is it a material thing? Allow your awareness to guide you there to that knowing. You can sit as long as you like. And sometimes we know right away. We come into silence, it's right there. It's like it's always been there, but now we're silent. It's just right there looking at us. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Sit as long as you like. When you're ready, place your hands at your heart. Open your eyes. Hey, one thing I will say, so the kind of contraindications of Veloma-2 and the holding of the breath would be if you're pregnant, you wouldn't hold your breath. Right? So you can still do it, but you're not holding the breath. You're just visualizing, breathing up and down, and you wouldn't be pausing between in the exhale. So you can just do the slow breaths, but still breathing in the rib cage like that, and still doing the restorative breath is fine. If you have high or low blood pressure, also retaining the breath wouldn't be great for that. And then the final one is if you're feeling super, super anxious, you may have to just take this at your own pace, because sometimes holding the breath or doing breathing techniques can actually aggravate the anxiety. So you're either going at your own pace with it or you're not doing the holds either. Sometimes holding the breath, as somebody who has suffered from and suffers from anxiety, it helps us. It can help us in the moment. It's like you're stretching that muscle, which is really good. And then it feels really good because after you can take deeper breaths, and that actually is really great for the nervous system. But on days where maybe it just doesn't, it's a difficult day, you may just skip the holds altogether. But still taking deep breaths, you're going to get a lot of benefit from that. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. I love your feedback. I love doing this and connecting to you. So thank you. Have a great week. And I'll see you next week on